up, YouTubers? My name is Bungie CBC. For those of you who do not know me, and for those of you who do know me, it is that time again. Yes, it is Bible story time. Please don't forget to subscribe and also like the video. It helps, okay? So, the story I am going to be telling you guys today is the story of how Ruth got a man, okay? So, let's start about who is Ruth. Start from that. Who is Ruth? Ruth is a Moabite woman who got married to an Israelite. An Israelite who was the son of Naomi. Naomi, who was from Israel along with her husband, whom they got married in Israel, and then after that they decided to move out of Israel because at that time Israel had a famine that was sent by God to punish them. Just to let you know that God does retaliate for people, even though you think that he's not watching you while you hurt others. He does respond, okay? For as long as they cry out, he will respond. So, as they move out of Israel, they go to Moab, I think. Guys, please forgive me. These are really hard words for me to pronounce because I'm Zulu and I'm from South Africa, okay? So these pronunciations are going to be a little hard for me. But hey, by the way, did you guys notice that today I am shooting without my glasses? Yeah, we're trying something new, okay? I may not see properly, but you'll tell me what it looks like. Okay, back to the story. So Ruth and Boaz don't meet in Moabite. What happens is that Naomi had two sons, and one of them got married to Ruth. And as they got married, so they had a nice life, you know. Naomi, her two sons, and her husband, they were all there. And all of a sudden, the two sons that were married to the Moabite women, they die, okay? The sons die. Her husband dies. And Naomi just thinks like, oh my gosh, I think God is punishing me for the fact that I moved out of Israel at the time whereby there was a famine and he was punishing us. Because let me tell you guys, nobody can escape the wrath of God. So take your punishment and be obedient and go apologize, and yeah, God will give you a way. So that's exactly what Naomi did. She said, I am going back to my land. I am going back to Israel because they know me there, and I'm sure there's going to be people there who can help me. But you guys, there is nothing I can do for you. I cannot rebirth new husbands for you guys. So I urge you, my dear lovies, please go back to your hometowns. That's what she said. She said, you guys can go back to your parents and tell them that my kids have died and my husband has died and I have nothing to give to you guys, and apologize on my behalf. That's what she said. And then the other Moabite wife was like, okay, you said this, I'm going back home. It's fine. I'll go back home. And Ruth is like, ha, girl, I'm your ride or die, okay? Your son married me for a reason, okay? Your son married me for a reason, and that reason is that he could see the qualities of a ride or die here, okay? So I'm not leaving. Either he's here or not here. He's dead. I know that he's dead. But then I am loyal to you now, okay? There's nothing else we can do. We can just follow your plan, okay? So you were saying we're going back where? And then Naomi's like, we're going back, we're going back to my hometown, which is Israel. And she does mention that, listen, there they are not they don't pray to a Moabite God, okay? They pray to the God of Israel, the living God, the Messiah, okay? Ne? So, as she says that, Ruth decides, you know what the heck? I'm just going to go with it. You know, she was a pretty open-minded woman, I must say. You know, I think that's how she also got the man. Because she was pretty open-minded. So she goes ahead and she's like, okay, Israel, we go. They go to Israel, and when they get there, Naomi just cries and bawls her eyes out to her people like, I think God was just punishing me because I left while it was the ferment time, okay? And now that it's not the ferment time, I came back and I am repenting. Look at God. That's what she said. She's like, I think God is just being bitter to me because I escaped. I should have stayed with my people at that time. And the people are like, no, man, come on. You know that is not how God is. And she's like, but how could you explain this? The death of my husband, the death of my two sons, my very two sons that God gave me so that I can have a living, you know? And to prove that I'm a woman, back in the day, if you had sons and if you bear children, you are the ish if you're a woman, okay? You get married, you bear your husband kids. That is your legacy. So that's what they did back then, okay? So when they get there, this one decides, you know what? You are an old woman. Ruth decides, Mutswale, you are an old woman, okay? Yes, mamazala umdala mamngaka ukhulile. Hlala phansi, ne? Hlala phansi. Thina abancane sizozama ukuyenza lento ukuthi yenzeke, ne? Ngisayofuna amatoho lapha ngaphandle. Athi yazi angazi ukuthi ngizofuna but ngisayofuna amatoho. So she goes, ne? And then she comes back, she's like, ish, this thing of finding a job. Guys, even back in the days, finding a job was a little difficult, okay? It was better if you had your own business. Like, seriously. So she goes out, she comes back, nothing. Dololo, okay? And then, like, Naomi out of nowhere just decides, listen, I know a guy. Why don't you go there? And she's like, a guy. And he's like, yeah. And then she's like, okay, no, you know what? I'll go tomorrow. I've seen another place, like in the fields or something like that. It's fields, it's farming, but I'll go there. So she goes there and she goes there every day when, you know, she's not even a proper employed person. She's like voluntarily going there to pick. I don't know if she was picking barley or stuff like that, but she was picking like the other okay, they are not slaves, they are servants because they were getting paid. So she picks the plant, the reaping of that season, whatever it was. I think it was barley, but I don't know, okay? I don't know. So she goes there, and she is not picking like as one of the servants who are getting paid. So she has to be like behind the last one. Like when the other servant drops something, she picks it up. So she's like your bus boy or your bus girl, you know? She's like your bus girl. She buys some tables there voluntarily, ne? So she does that for a while, and even when the other servants are going to have lunch, she decides, I'm gonna continue doing this. Okay, she continues cleaning up behind other servants because she knows that she doesn't have the job. But if she picks up these these small crumbs of the plants and the barleys, I think, that are left behind, it will actually help her, like, you know, make a living out of this, or it will give her something to eat that evening with her mother-in-law. Okay, what's happening to this camera? So as she does that, she goes like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So when she does that every day, the male servants go like, oh, look at her, she's poorer than our average girls. Yeah, I mean, in Israel, guys, you know, when God came back to show up for them, even the servants were good, you know, even the servants had money, even the servants were in a good place. So in Israel, when that happened, like, everything was back to normal now, and, you know, even the servants were like, who is she? She's still cleaning up after us, and we are servants. Like, girl, bye. Okay, she continues to do that, and she does not know that there comes Boaz, and Boaz is like the owner of like the plantation. Okay, Boaz comes and sees this woman and asks, and then who's that? And then they're like, oh, we actually don't know her that well. We just know that she is the daughter-in-law of Naomi. Remember Naomi, who left with her husband and they had 2 sons, and then when they were out there in Moab, they the sons and the father, they died. So she has come back here with this daughter-in-law of hers, who is a Moabite, by the way. And so, Boaz is like, he's not looking at the fact that, like, that's what they're talking about. Like, they are telling him is Indaba, the gossip of the area. He's intrigued by a Moabite coming to my land. I mean, like, to work after my servants. Even though my servants are taking their break. She's not taking a break, guys. She's out there. So Boaz like, I'm intrigued, okay? But he does not show that he's intrigued. He just goes like, okay, you know what? This too, like, shall pass, but I will see what happens to this woman. I just need to see. I need to study this woman. So as time goes by, guys, he studies this woman. He learns that Ruth is a hardworking woman, and she's a hardworking woman for her mother-in-law, who is like at home, old and tired, So as she's doing that, she's like, no, my mother, I'm doing this for my mother-in-law and I, so that we can have food on the table. Okay, so she does that, and this guy is like, Boaz is like, her girl, I see you, okay? But he's trying to study the fact that, is she intrigued by, like, the men in my country that are her age? Because remember, like, Boaz is, like, of age. Beyond of age, if I may say, yeah. Beyond of age, because Ruth, let's just say right now, because I don't know the ages in the Bible. I did not see them, but I did read the facts of that she was younger. She was really younger than Boaz. And Boaz is like, oh, she's really young. She's, perhaps let's just put a gap of maybe she's Boma 26, 27, and he's there in his, like, early 40s. Okay? So when that happens, he's like, I'm studying you, girl. I see you, okay? But I'm not gonna say anything to you. I'm not even gonna approach you, okay? So as he does that for some time, then Ruth goes home to her mother-in-law and says, look what I got from the plantation, because Boaz decided, since she's so hardworking, give her something. At least something she can take home to her mother-in-law so that they can eat. So when she gets home, she's like, look what I got. I got, like, food for us. And this man who owns the plantation, I thought he was going to fire me. I thought, like, he was going to chase me out of his plantation because I was picking up crumbs. I was picking up, like, crumbs behind her, so, after his servants, and I was just hustling. And I thought he was going to chase me away. And she's all like, Mama, I'm telling you, I thought this guy was going to chase me out of his plantation. But guess what he did? He gave us some food, okay? He hooked us up, okay? We have dinner tonight. And it's like, who's this guy? And she explains where the plantation is. And it's like, oh, I know the guy. He's actually like a distant relative of ours. And I know that he's got no kids. He's not married. And then Ruth goes like, oh, that's a shame. That's a pity. But then she goes like, yeah, so he totally hooked us up. And then Naomi's like, are you think what I'm thinking? And Ruth is like, no, I'm not seeing what she's saying here. I'm not thinking anything, in fact. And then she goes like, you know what? Tomorrow, this is what you do, my friend. This is what you do, okay? That guy has no wife. That guy has no kids. So the best thing to do is present yourself. Guys, when I'm looking at the story now, I'm like, whoa, damn. I mean, like, mother-in-law has got moves. She has ambition as well, for her daughter. But then I never thought that back in the days you were allowed to literally ask a man out. I did not know that. I'm still going to Google about that. I'm still going to read more about that. I'll even ask maybe perhaps some of the young pastors if they can actually tell me. Young female pastors, by the way, I'll ask them, like, you were allowed to do that back in the days? Ask a guy out? Because, wow. This thing would have been so easier for many sisters in church to get married today. I'm just saying, okay? So she explains to her what to do. So Ruth, the next day, she goes into the plantation. She does the same thing. The guy hooks her up with the food. And then she comes back. And then Naomi is like, get ready, girl. You about to make a move on this guy. So it's like, all right, I'll do that. So that's, not the real touch-ups, but then because Ruth is a hardworking woman and she's pretty, even though she's a hardworking woman, she's pretty. That's what the Bible says. Like, she's beautiful, she's young, and she's a hardworking woman. So they're like, okay, fine. They take her. So she's like, you're gonna go there, okay? You're gonna go there and you present yourself to him. Guys, I did not want you to get a different perspective I did not want to misinterpret what was said, by Ruth when she gets to Boaz. Because, I felt like it was sweet. At the same time, it was bold. I mean, this is a rich man. And what if the guy said, you're just here for the money, so why should I marry you? Like, seriously. And you're even telling me that, well, I must marry you because of my money. So it could have went that way, but it didn't. So as that happens, they decide, okay, I'm gonna get ready. So that's what she does. She gets ready, and she goes over to Boaz's house in the evening, by the way, when everybody is sleeping. Guys, so when she goes there in the evening, she goes like, she knocks on the door, and as she knocks on the door, Boaz goes like, who's there? And she's like, it's me. And I guess I would have said, you who? Guys, I would have said that, but that's not what Boaz said. He just said, who's there? And then after that, she presented herself and said, it's me. I'm Ruth, your servant. And then so Boaz goes like, okay, come in. And then as she comes in, this is what the girl says, okay? Batting her eyelashes, I'm sure, at that time. I'm sure she was like, spread the guys, the flirtation of the olden days. I'm just out of words, okay? This is what she says. She says, spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family. So she practically says, let me in, okay? Let me in. Let me sleep in the feet of your bedside, so that since when you are the only one who can redeem my family from poverty. That's what she says, okay? So that's what she says. She's like, it's fine. I will sleep here by your feet, since you are the redeemer of my family. And I know this because I've seen your wealth and I've also seen your kindness. So I'll sleep here. And so Boaz actually catches on, she catches on the flirtatious words like, oh, girl. Oh, baby girl. How I wish other women were virtuous as you are. I mean, you've seen all the people around here. I mean, you've seen all the young ladies around here, okay? You've seen all of them. They go for the younger men. And you've seen the handsome men in this country of ours. We lack nothing. We Israel. And you came for me. Child, I'm flattered. I am intrigued. And for that very reason, I will marry you. I will marry you, woman. And that's how she got the guy, guys. She just got the guy like that. She remained humble. She was like, I'm just going to do my thing. I'm going to remain humble. And I'm going to clean after his servants. And then after that, I'm going to bust that move. Like, please marry me. I have nothing. My mother-in-law has nothing. But I know you will redeem her house if I marry you. And I will have kids, okay? And by the way, somewhere along the line, Ruth and Boaz are in the lineage of Jesus Christ. Go look up the stories, guys. Like the video, and also don't forget to subscribe. It also helps the channel. Love you.